나를 만나기 전 여긴 어땠어? 우연히 시작됐던 운명일까? 아주 크고 작은 사건들이 다녀갔겠지. 얻고 잃게 되는 끔찍한 반복. 결말을 먼저 봐버린 이야긴 아무도 관심 없는 책과 같아. 왜 난 그런 편에 자꾸만 더 마음이 가는지. 여기 함께 있어도 될까? 영화처럼 밝게 안녕 지켜볼게. 눈이 멀게 빛나는 물고 두 번 다시 가까이서 볼 수 없어도 어둠 밤하늘 속에서 너를 찾아낼 수 있어. 오래 기억할게. You always on my mind, so keep with me. 뭐든 해낼 것 같은 용기는 시간의 방향과 거꾸로일까? 여기까지 오기 전 모든 기억은 정말 모두 사라질까? 영화처럼 밝게 안녕 지켜볼게. 눈이 멀게 빛나는 물꽃의 시작에 너와 함께 할 수 없어도 어둠 밤하늘 속에서 너를 찾아낼 수 있어. 내가 기억할게. You always on my mind. I try to figure out who we are. Try to figure out who we are. Try to figure out who we are. 영화처럼 밝게 안녕 지켜볼게. 눈이 멀게 빛나는 물고 두 번 다시 가까이서 볼 수 없어도 어둠 밤하늘 속에서 너를 찾아낼 수 있어. 오래 기억할게. You always on my mind. Try to figure out who we are.
Good evening and welcome back to the Kingdom of Jerusalem, where apparently I chose a bad name for today's stream.
What? What did you choose?
CIRC. Where Sultana Constanza has as yet not managed to take advantage of her of having a pet claimant to the kingdom of the Empire of Britannia, which I now remember the reason for is because Britannia is far too rich. So we're still not going to try that this week, I don't think. We would love to take Britannia and turn it Fraticelli, but there are problems with that. She does, on the other hand, have a claim on the surprisingly independent county of Spoleto, and as, if not actually, the head of the House di Spoleto, at least a fairly senior member of the House di Spoleto, perhaps she might like to control Spoleto, at least the county thereof. The Duchy of Spoleto is different, and yeah. There are currently 426 living members of the House di Spoleto, and we can trace it all the way back to Duke Alberic I of Spoleto, who was not actually my player character. I think my player character was Alberic the Just, who was, yes, the Duke of Capua, who I think was where I started. And who was, yes, a vassal of the Pope. But obviously we should at some point get back to Spoleto, and we do now have a claim on it. So perhaps that will be a fun little thing to try. Right, that's part of the Empire of Bulgaria. We can't have that. Like, it may also be worth wandering around and going, is there anything here that we could plausibly find? I mean, him we ought to be able to get a claim against. Surely we might even have a claimant on his throne. She's a bit old. She is Fraticelli, but her I think her children may not be. So there's the problem that if we stick her on the Navarran throne, she may not last long.
No, you just still got like at least 20 years or something, haven't you?
Oh yes, Alain of Britannia is in a bit of trouble, isn't he? He has a revolt war on his hands, and since he's Fraticelli and I bet they're not, we should probably help him with it before he loses. So that's another thing we could usefully do. There's a Norman revolt, in addition to, like, Normandy having, I think, already gone back to being Catholic. Because our claimant, the problem with dumping Fraticelli on random, Blois is still Catholic. Is he in any wars that we need to help him with? Only about 3 of them. That's part of the Empire of Italia. Rather a lot of things are Britannia.
Britannia may rule waves. Any articles.
Barcelona is just weird. And yes. So, yeah, there's actually an argument that there are at least 2 wars we could help with over there, in addition to taking Spoleto for ourselves.
Obviously, you could probably do all in at once.
Yeah. If we can join them all. We can certainly offer to join that war. And let's see who Blois is up against. So he has the Count of Brie, the Count of Bourbon, and the Count of Poitiers. And like the Brie and Bourbon wars are the ones with the most war score against him. The Bad Shah of Outremer is helping with the Brie war, though. So probably we should join in on the Bourbon war and assume we can deal with the Poitiers war later. Indeed, yes, we don't have the option to join the Brie War because we're already kind of in it. In fact, is that war down there? Yes. So we can offer to join those 2. And we can also claim Spoleto. That one we could even call Carthaginensis in for. On which subject? Is she at war with anyone at the moment? No, she isn't. We won the last one. Right. So, time to organise all of my armies again. Go, no, you should have been raised on the coast. You should have been raised on the coast. You are on the coast. You should be raised on the coast. Damashq touches the coast, and therefore we should raise Damashq's troops on the coast. Palmyra does not, as far as I know, touch the coast, no, nor does this one. Haleb, no. I mean, it gets closer to the coast, but fair. Right, so I think that's everything I can move in from here. And then there's a quantity of troops around here that will eventually be useful. What's going on here? Oh, right, is that part of Cologne now then? That's part of the Emirate of Cologne, which means we can dismiss the troops inconveniently inland in Cologne and raise them instead in Porto, which will be a much more useful thing to do. Right, let's. Is that in like? Yeah, that's part of the Emirate of Jebal, which is all fairly inconvenient, especially when it only gives us 129 troops. Let's dismiss those. Right. Now to pile everyone onto ships in approximately useful directions. Oops, they've been raised in the wrong place. Right. Al Jazeera is, of course, no longer ours. That lot can all be sent up to there. Let's converge everyone on the coasts. Then once they're there, we will actually, what I think we should do is we should just start raising a fleet at the north end. And edge it gradually southwards, collecting up people as we go and adding more ships as necessary. Right, I am now involved in substantially more wars. Oh yes, I suppose we were going to be, weren't we? And they've sent far more troops than we have, and this is all going to be an embarrassment. Oh well. Shouldn't lose as much war score because it's only a tiny one of our armies. Yes. 0, well, less than 1% effect on our war score. We have one Ruprecht di Spoleto who has just been born, and Martin di Spoleto is now a misguided warrior. That's nice. So I caught my son Ferdinand lying to me again, straight to my face. Let's allow him to become deceitful. Makes a change. So that's currently 200 and something ships and only 11,000 troops, so we can safely fit more into that. So not that many more. There we go. Oh no, because of course everyone disembarked. That's why it looked like I had far too many people. Stoats. I can pay attention to what's going on, really. I do know what's going on in this game.
The numbers on the ships often seem a bit strange. I would guess they're numbers of ships rather than people.
Yes. And you can fit 100 troops on each ship.
But it doesn't say whether you have.
If you have the fleet selected and it has troops on it, they appear there. The slightly confusing thing is that whenever a fleet arrives in a port, it immediately disgorges all of its troops.
But of course, most of the time you can't.
Which can be slightly embarrassing if it turns out there was a reason why you didn't really want them on shore, like there's an enormous enemy army there. And it's slightly confusing if you're trying to...
Unfortunately, they all insist on going and getting a drink. What army will deal with it tomorrow?
Yes. And this is confusing if you're trying to keep track of where your armies are and they keep popping out onto the shore. Or if the supply limit is low. Right, are we still waiting for some of them to come round from the Arabian Gulf? Yes, we are. Dump that lot off in Dax while we're waiting. Someone's besieging me in Rome. Where did Spoleto find 13,000 troops?
Did they have a lot of money?
Don't remember them having a lot of money. Okay, yes, he's got quite a lot of money. Well, that's nice. We've got quite a lot of troops. Is a problem with having a successful crusade is that all the Catholics are rich.
Well, Wabosh should put more effort into not getting himself or possibly his primary heir captured.
Not surrendering prematurely, I think, is the...
Well, yeah, it's possible someone was captured, and that's what went wrong.
The AI doesn't tend to, well, in those situations it doesn't tend to surrender prematurely. My best guess is possibly his heir, but if it was more than 50%, then the target himself, i.e. Ben's boss, was captured, which is basically insta-fail.
I think that's everyone. Pass up to Suez or Eliat. Oh, that's the thing I didn't know. The total troops in county includes, for supply limit purposes, includes ones on ships. In that we're getting a supply limit problem saying total troops in county 47.7 thousand. Right, well, let me just take that ship offshore then. So that they don't suffer horrific attrition. Right. So, should we go after Rome first? Yes, because that's the one that's officially an offensive war and thus will be annoying my vassals. But we can't go... Well, I mean, we could actually take 50,000 troops ashore actually in Rome, but they will have rather low morale, so I think it's better not to.
It's best to take them ashore just nearby and then march them in. By which point they'll probably have enough morale to not, suck.
Happily, even Rome is reasonably well fortified. Or rather, Tivoli. Though someone does seem to have burnt down the Apostolic Palace, which I'm not very happy about. Hush. We may as well go ashore on this side of Rome rather than gratuitously going round to the north of it. The Crocodile Company is invading Syria.
Equipped with more crocodiles.
I don't think so. I think they're just called the Crocodile Company. War Chief Asaru of Crocodile Company has declared Crocodile Company invasion of Syria on Badshah Samir of Outremer. And all of my troops are currently off doing something else.
Congratulations on being weird, War Chief Stoat. Can you get it tell you what the Crocodile Company actually is?
Well, it's a mercenary company.
Right.
So it's unlanded. He appears to be a pagan, which might be why he gets an invasion casus belli.
But he's a mercenary, but not currently fighting in the pay of anyone, obviously.
He's currently fighting on his own behalf.
Yeah, he decided, I'm sick of being unlanded, I'm going to take some land.
Yes, more or less. And so he has turned up in my kingdom of Syria. And is trying to steal it, which is a bit rude. Right, so that's all of that lot here. What are the... Right, we're going to need to split our army in two if it's going to come in here. Which is a pity because you can't split them while they're embarked. Right. Is there anywhere around here that actually has such a high supply limit we could safely bring everyone ashore without splitting them? No, the best we can do is Amalfi. Well, I mean, Rome has enough supply limit, but for us, but it's kind of full of enemy armies. No, I do not wish my son, my genius son, to be taught by Princess Yasmin. She is useless. Decline. Right, so let's chop that army in half. And have them... I think they're actually going to have to go in series because basically we've only got that border on which we can through which we can enter Rome anyway, unless we... I suppose we could do one of them from the other side. We just put them back on the ship. Right. So now let's give each army some halfway decent commanders. That one's already got some halfway decent commanders. Wait a couple of days for them to their morale to recharge, and then have them all stomp into Rome. Peasants have apparently revolted in Parma, which is one of those places I forget I own. Oh, we've got 126 troops down there, because apparently I own that as well. Let's have them come over and join the fun. Where else have I got troops I don't know about? So there's that lot happily sitting around over here, who are actually probably just about enough to do something useful if I'm careful with them. But meanwhile, let's pay attention to this battle, which is going quite well. Right. And now I think we should send one of these armies into Spoleto. Don't think we need both of them. So I think the other one can be embarked and sent across to France to help with those various disasters going on over there. Right, now we can bring those into port. Oh, apparently we don't have enough supply limit up in Spoleto. Let's split that army again. No, not with that button. That's the complicated button. The simple button. Right, there we go. All right, Spoleto is mountainous. We'll probably be okay besieging things there. Let's make sure that at least we have a siege leader in that army. We do. Good. Right, now we're not above our supply limit. So that lot can all head over to our usual landing place of Dax. And we can start going, right, who do we need to flatten? So there's the Breton revolt up there. There's Bourbon down there. Which is part of the Holy Roman Empire, it looks like. There's Spoleto, and there's kind of Brie. Oh, I should have left some ships behind in Rome, shouldn't I? Oh well, it'll be fine. We can probably get the ships back again before the siege in Spoleto's over anyway. Oh, Prince Albrecht is of legal age and is actually halfway competent. Hmm?
I missed the text.
Intricate web weaver, so third level out of 4 spy master type, and he is apparently betrothed to the Queen of Egypt, non-matrilineally, with the hope that it'll turn all of the little Egyptian princes and princesses Fraticelli.
Are there going to be any of those before the end of time?
Shush. Maybe.
Term plan. You just have to load this game into Europa Universalis as a starting.
Is that possible?
Yes.
Probably.
Prince Albrecht is unlanded, which is apparently a problem. I think this slightly annoys people. I haven't got any land. I own 1 castle, and it's in somebody else's. All right, it doesn't matter now. Apparently, probably because he's married to a queen. Right. How are we doing at that siege? That siege is going fine. No, I don't want to appoint Glitterhoof as Grand Vizier. Doesn't actually work either. I think with adequate DLCs, Glitterhoof can actually appear as a character, but apparently it doesn't in this circumstance. And
That's
it-
sad. I'm sure with some of my DLC it has appeared. Yes, they are effectively. Well, they're a horse, David. They're a horse.
this is the second time that Constanza has appointed Glitterhoof as Grand Vizier.
Come on, she's probably better. The horse is probably better than everyone else.
Most of our vassals actually quite like us at the moment.
Kenson, etc.
I've lost where I want to send them. If Republic of Blemir isn't much a fan of me. Let's attempt to cheer up the Emira of Cologne, because we haven't sent anyone out to Cologne recently. Where does she rule? Berg. Because Cologne does get neglected a bit, like Kent.
Forgetting you've got it.
Yeah.
Damn it,
Yes. Right, that is an excessively large army for the county it's in, and that's probably going to remain a problem, so let's split it in half.
So your mean war score still seems negative.
Yes. So, who is there that we're currently at war with? Brie, which is way off up there. Bourbon is probably our nearest target, isn't it? But if there's, we of course can also help by besieging back people on things from people for people on our side. What's this lot? That's Poitou, which is I think nothing to do with us. Yes, he's in 3 wars. Oh, one of which is actually against Anjou, which is one of our vassals. But Anjou is about to lose that one anyway. Let's send one army there. Actually, let's embark the other army and drop it off in Brittany. Right, we've taken Spoleto itself. But there is still a city and 2 cathedrals to besiege in that county. So we'll sit around there for a bit longer. We've made the Bishop of Vert like me. That's not actually who I was wanting you to help with, but whatever. Right. I think we should start up here by giving the rebel army a quick thrashing.
It's not supposed to ring tonight.
Okay, that county's slightly low on supply limit. I think we go and deal with any armies that look like they might be doing anything dangerous first. Let's hold on there actually until I've got some adequate commanders in that army, and that's plains. Yeah, go on. Right, so we have one in Saint-Paul-de-Léon, a town I've been to many times. We have captured some random bloke whom no one wants back. That has substantially improved the war score in that war. So what's... so we have 2 lost controls which are worth an awful lot. So let's go back and reclaim those, because those are, I think, the highest priority. And then we'll worry about something else. Meanwhile, this lot. This battle won't give me any war score, of course. Because this... Oh no, this one will. This one is actually a battle I care about. Good. That battle wouldn't give me any war score because it's not in a war that's any of my concern, officially. So let's see what there is in that war that I could help with. Mostly occupation in Orléans. Anyone know where Orléans is? It's just up there. Okay, since that's the war with the worst war score, let's go and do some besieging there to fix that. Just check that nothing surprising is happening over here. No, good. Yes, be patient. Tiberios is a siege leader, so that's good. Okay, who can marry now? Martin's betrothed is available. I can't remember why it was a good idea, but it was probably a good idea. Right, 77% war score in the war against Spoleto. I should do something with this fleet. I should carve this fleet in half and take half of it and send it back to Rome to pick up my army when it's finished with its war. So now some slightly tedious besieging. That besieging is going fairly non-tediously, in fact.
Until everyone steps off to the run late or whatever it is they do.
Right, we've taken back Orléans. The Bourbon army is coming back for another go.
Simon, do you think there's a reasonable chance that before you leave you'll remember to shut Skylight? If you're in doubt, can you please shut it now?
Oh right, I think I was confused, and this is actually a an offensive war.
In my shoe, so it's very hard for me to forget.
Okay, good. Right. That's fine. I'd be less worried, but there's a small
No,
chance
that is a
of heavy
defence. All right, he controls Berry, and
rain. Chance of a shower, I wouldn't be so bothered. But heavy rain, with all the stuff that's around here, is more of a problem.
right, yes, the thing is that what we're fighting over is that tiny patch there. So yes, we do actually want to regain that fairly soon, because there's a lot of unfavourable ticking war score going on there at the moment. Yes, precisely. So probably once this siege is done, we'll send that army back south, hitting the Bourbon army on the way.
Isn't that what keeps our biscuit tin supplied?
And getting into the other side. Right, we've cheered up Emir thingy of Cologne, that's nice. Taken back Van. That war is now becoming slowly becoming positive in war score. We have taken Terni, we are now at 98% in the war for Spoleto. So that battle wasn't quite big enough that we don't have to besiege the entire world. We have captured the Count of Bourbon. Excellent. Right, well, that'll deal with that war. which means I don't actually want that army to carry on going that way. I want it to help with this war again. On the assumption that that war is going to disappear pretty soon. I don't get to do that. It's not my war. Yeah, that's a bunch of peasants being a nuisance in the mountains. And someone's turned up in Kent to annoy us.
Yeah.
Peasants have reached peak frustration.
Thank you. Okay, that's somewhere vaguely under my control, I think. Right. So this one is slowly becoming less of a problem. Though it would be nice if my liege sent me some troops sometime soon for it. Right. The Duke of Blois has won that war against his neighbours. There's still a war against Poitiers, so we should probably now ask if we can help with that one. Alain de Beaumont, Count of Vannes, as his liege. What's happened there? There is a there is a new king of Brittany, right, who is Catholic, and so I have somehow ended up still being involved in the war, which was intended to defend the previous Fraticelli king of Brittany, who was evicted by a faction.
I suppose, of course, you can technically unsupport the war.
I mean, I can practically unsupport the war
Yeah,
by just walking away from it.
Yes. I don't know if you can leave the war, but if you can, you probably should. Otherwise, stoked. Good nuke people. You stoked people tomorrow.
Right, and I have joined the war against Poitiers. Right, we now have 100% war score in the war for Spoleto. This is a perfectly ordinary claim war. So has my capital just teleported to Spoleto? It has. Because I now have a county, my capital has immediately teleported to be in that county, because it was a kind of weird situation that my capital was in a county I didn't own, simply because I owned 0 counties. So I think now if I were to say...
You started this game off playing as the De Spoletos, and now at the end of the game you come back
I've come back to claim Spoleto. Yes, I noticed that Spoleto was independent, and so fabricated a claim on it, based presumably solely on my name. Last session, and then having got the claim, have moved back to Spoleto. And yes, I think I would not be allowed to move. I'm not allowed to move my capital to Ramallah. It merely got shoved there because I had no. That was the only holding I had left when I lost. Al Jazeera. I found a copy of the Quran. Well, I'd better read it. Let's close some of these. Most of them are not interesting. Badshah Samir the Young of Outremer, because he's been there for ages and is still only 15. Oh gods, all my technology's gone to pot because I've moved back to Italy. But I thus have a ton of technology points that I can spend. In Italy on. Get one level of improved keeps and one level of castle infrastructure, and probably some melee technique as well, I don't know. Is there something else we're besieging there? Yes, there is. That will take a while. Reinforced confidence in my own beliefs. Right, well, you see what you get for taking over Brittany is you get a great big rebellion that, curiously, the other member of the war will not get involved with because you're the wrong religion. Give it back to Alain and I might get involved. The new Sheikh of Dashastan. Not sure why we have him as our direct vassal. I should unpause, things will happen faster. We have another grandson. I think, no, something else. Called Engelbert. Should probably pay attention to the dynasty at some point, but... Right, so that war is now, and it's an entirely boring 0% war score. Let's go and get into a fight for one of the other wars, so as to push that one to some more useful war score. And maybe have a look around and see who else is at war. New Sheikh of Acre. Alright, more noble customs. Yeah, if we're going to try a holy war against Lusitania, you're probably going to have an unhappy time. Like, there's a reason why I don't get into offensive holy wars. You captured a bishop. I presume he's not a useful bishop. No. Well, let's see if we can sell him again then. It looks like there's going to be a battle in this county, though apparently I'm not going to be involved in it. So, this is the war that I'm actually paying attention to at the moment. So we should send these troops down to Poitiers. Who are you trying to kill? Nah. The Emir of Cologne is continuing to be made to like me more. Right, we're now besieging thing. Oh, what happened to that army anyway? It got as far as Rome and then I forgot about it. Well, I mean, we can bring it round here just in case we have a use for it. Right, so that war is now at 40% war score. We can't really do much more by way of besieging because we've only got that one army. So that's part of Normandy, so I don't think that occupation concerns us. Except that we could occupy some of Breeze territory, I suppose. I think we're allowed to do that, and I think it gives us war score, or gives them war score rather, since it's not technically my war. Obviously, we should actually march through that Poitiers, army of Poitiers anyway. How about we take the sensible route? Look, these two counties are next to one another. Why are you insisting on marching through a third one? I can't even force you to do otherwise because you could only add waypoints. Okay, I think we've probably cheered up the Emira of Cologne as far as we're going to. More or less, yes. Let us cheer up the unfortunately positioned Grand Mayor of Blemia. Captured another bishop. We're at 84% war score in that war, which is nice. We seem to have something to besiege here. Are we besieging a thing? No, we're not. Let's try heading up to Brie itself and seeing if we can besiege anything there. Oh, we've lost our court chaplain. He was 74, so it's not wholly surprising. Oh, let's recruit this guy. He's got a nice lot of learning. Right. The Poitierian Holy War for Berry has ended. Duke What's-His-Face of Berry won. Ferdinand has a tender and loving soul, okay if you say so. Right, so that now means that the only war I'm officially involved with is the one that I'm not getting involved with. Because King Piares of Brittany has taken back the throne and is of the wrong religion. There's that one which I'm... Yes, there's still the Brie one, which I am wondering if I can do something with. Meanwhile, is Blois at war with anyone else? He's now defending against Thuringia and Champagne. Right. Thuringia sounds like it might be a bit scary. Well, let's try that one then. Right, we now have a replacement court chaplain. Oh, we already had a perfectly competent court person who could be court chaplain.
Well, never hurts to have a spare.
Yes. I mean, Gavril, possibly we had a use for him. He does look generally brilliant. Has a strong claim on a random duchy over there. Don't think that was why. I think it was because he's a genius, but I don't know quite what I was thinking. Right, so... right, so now we have this rather scary enemy. especially since Champagne is, I think, also, yes, part of Thuringia, and thus we're at war with Champagne as well, though they're not in this. So we are hostile to Champagne, though they're not in the same war, so we don't really want to get into fights with them. We want to look out for... But that also includes the Thuringian army there, which we do want to get into a fight with. Right, so... Where should I bring this lot ashore? Apparently I control something here that means I can land here. Is that better than Bordeaux? Slightly, maybe. Yes, because Anjou, which is my vassal, controls lots of the holdings in that county. So let's bring these ships in there, and that will give me another 10,000 troops. And then we can fairly easily flatten that lot. Let's march that lot into Blois, and then we'll march this lot into Vendôme. Not Vendôme, Dunois. Oh, there's a nice soft Thuringian army there. Well, let's wait for them to get movement locked into Reims, and then go and say hello to them. They're very low on morale as well. Right, that lot are now there, so we'll bring them into that convenient neighbouring county. Actually, let's make sure that lot get an organiser. Is Monio an organiser? No, let's give them Marijata. Yeah, that war from the Crocodile Company, well, I don't think I can do much about that. I think that's my boss's problem.
Is that the one that's... I looked down for a moment and now it's suddenly a minus 60%. Is that...
Now that one is the one that I'm actually involved with and I'm trying to fix. This battle should help. Can I, like, get into another battle? Is that a good idea? As far as I can tell, that's a good idea. But I don't quite know what other armies he has lying around. Let's make sure this one also has some commanders. Someone is what's naming in Kent again. Badshah Samir the Young is of legal age and has turned out an amateurish plotter. Yes, well... Pause while you're looking at the messages, Ben.
It saves time.
Right, so another army has now come to say hello to me in Reims. And it's possibly a bit big. Let's bring in some reinforcements from across the border. Right, that lot are now both ready and can attack this lot, which includes... Oh, the Thuringian army have left it alone now, though. So where's all of Thuringia's war score coming from? Occupation of Orléans Chartres. So the Orléans occupation does count. Let's loop round there. So I don't really want to get into a battle with this army because it's mostly an army that I won't get war score for defeating. This lot is going to be reasonably good for war score. Though not brilliant because he's actually quite strong. We're mostly there taking advantage of the fact that there are a lot of little armies because he hasn't really got his armies organised because he's only just started this war. Yes, thank you. So if I can keep bashing at them while they're still trying to work out how to do anything. Then I will get war score for that, plus we can leave his armies in little pieces. Okay, how are we off? Oh, we're only marginally over the supply limit there. Right, well, I've captured a duke. That's nice. That battle, which was like quite a complicated battle, did end up being worth 30% war score, so that's nice as well. Let's make sure we have a siege leader over here now. He may as well be our good siege leader. So that we can recapture Britannia at least. I would like to capture to take Orléans, but I don't really want to get into that war while it's not my war. But the problem is that because it's a war of a vassal of Thuringia, it does kind of count. So, I mean, I've got enough troops to soundly thrash them without taking serious losses myself. Maybe we should drive them out because that's the major driver of our low war score now. No, not like that. You're going in there. You, I'm thinking, could usefully nip over there and get into another battle. That was only 2.8% war score, though, barely worth it. I think we'll pull. Let's pull these guys back and not sit around out in the middle of Thuringia. Oops. I don't think I got any. I assume I didn't get any war score for that battle. Doesn't look like it, no. Oh, we should nip into Chartres if we're not already yes, we're already in Chartres, right. Yeah, we'll fix that bit of negative war score there at least. And meanwhile here, right. So now that lot should win their battle. There we go. Siege, rather. That now gets that one up to 12%, simply for the Duke of Blois controlling the whole of Paris. So we have a bunch of sieges here to do, which will help with the war score in that war and in another war. Oh yes, we should probably besiege. So is our friend Blois at war with... So he's also at war with Champagne. So yes, we should besiege places that are in the Duchy of Champagne, because that way we'll contribute to the war score in both of those wars, I think.
That seems like a convenient piece of double counting.
Yes. Right. So now we have 3 major sieges going on. There's a 10,000 strong Thuringian army over there. Don't think I want to go out hunting them. How's he looking more generally, though? Like, he's 10,000... Right, okay, he's only got 14,000 troops in total and very little money, so... Also, given that we managed to flatten the former Duke, Count of Spoleto... I wonder where he is and where his money is. We should upgrade Spoleto, the Castle of Spoleto. That's where all our money should be going. He only bought 10,000 mercenaries, which suggests if Britannia is similarly gentle... Right, yes, he's still around because he's still Count of Antalo. All the way over in Africa. So if Britannia similarly only raises 10,000 mercenaries, we might be able to flatten them merely by bringing in enough troops. Where's that? Okay. Yeah, we can't join our vassals' wars though, so... It's winter and everyone's starving, it appears. We have reclaimed Orléans, so the next few things there should be fairly easy. What the hell just happened? Amaury Fromonides is no longer a participant in the Thuringian Holy War for Paris, as is Liege Roubaud from Onides. Joined the war as defender. Who is Catholic. What? So I think there is now a new Duke of Blois, again installed by a faction who is Catholic. Presumably this holy war is about to evaporate. Yes, all the holy wars have evaporated on the grounds that they're kind of invalid once the defender turns Catholic, or rather is replaced by a Catholic. Right. So our attempts at getting Catholics onto thrones in France is not going very well because they keep being ousted by factions. Well, we should invite him back to our court, though. We can't actually do that for the guy who was king of Brittany, because he's got a county as well, and he gets to keep that. So he won't come back to our court. Right, so there's that war, which I don't want to get involved with. Don't want to get actively involved with. So he's Fraticelli, but his liege isn't. That county is Fraticelli, but the liege isn't. The owner isn't. Other than that, we seem to be out of Fraticelli in... We have a Fraticelli count there. In a Fraticelli county, but he's then part of, well, ultimately of the Kingdom of Egypt. So I think that means that there's nothing we can obviously join in with to aim to Fraticellify anything. We would need to engage in some new activity, like finding someone else to claim things for, which would mean we'd need to start a new war, which would mean we'd need to dismiss all of our troops. So let's do that. I don't want Catholics on thrones. Pink Beast wants Catholics on thrones, being as he is the Pope. I mean, Anjou keeps doing interesting things, but being my vassal, I can't actually help with any of them. Actually, we should see if Carthaginensis is up to anything fun. No. Possible I was confused, I often am. Right. So technically I'm in a war, but I don't care about it. I do actually slightly care about this war, which I'm not in. I can offer to join it in order to try to in order to try to prevent the Crocodile Company getting control of Syria. Ooh, CK2 is not responding. I mean, something just happened. Things do appear to be a little unhappy at the moment. Is it happier now? That seems better. Don't know what just happened. Clotilda would like to be my Grand Vizier. She does have diplomacy of 29. Even my current Grand Vizier, who is pretty astonishing, only has a diplomacy of 28. Go on. Clotilda is now my Grand Vizier. She will doubtless be fired and I'll replace her with a horse. Right, you now need to improve diplomatic relations with everyone. But we'll start with the with Axum, whatever it is now, Blemia, because we lost Axum. Right. Oh yes, that's just my marshals not doing anything. Yes, we need technology there. What's my spy master up to anyway? I think he should probably be sent to Jerusalem to try to retrieve some of the technology from Jerusalem. Similarly, better to research economy taking my new capital than my old one. And is there somewhere that needs proselytizing? Yes. Right. So, oh yes, I was thinking about joining the war against the Crocodile Company, so because I really don't want them to take Syria. And my liege seems to be making a bit of a pig's ear of it. I mean, I think the Crocodile Company probably do only have those 6,000 troops. So, like, it won't take much to kick them out. Except that I think they are actually in a mountainous province. Bring in everyone we conveniently can from over here. Oh, Midas touched Maria de Mallorca. Not very helpful, but... And you, Emir of Ascalon. That's going to be enough of an army to kick them out, even in mountains, especially if I put in some decent commanders. Raiders have turned up in Dax. I don't think I have enough. Oh, maybe I have enough troops there to fix that, except that... Yeah, go on. Let's just put in the best team of commanders. Wait for them to have adequate morale. Though admittedly, driving the raiders off quickly is probably slightly important. Humility if possible. Right. Go and kick them out of Dax. We can raise... there probably aren't actually any troops I can raise in Dax, are there? Quickly defeat the invaders, well, raiders. Meanwhile, that army is ready and should start marching north. Someone had a child, I completely failed to pay any attention to it. You Sheikh of Atbara, apparently. And I've imprisoned someone in the Battle of Air. Excellent. Well, okay, we'll keep him. That's what you get for trying to raid my county. Right, let's now give this army the good commanders. And go and kick out the Crocodile Company. Yes, we're in mountains, but there are quite a lot of us. Oh! Call to arms against Duke Gonzalo. Holy War for Granada by Valencia, so that's probably we're on the defending side there. No, I think we're on the. I think we might be on the attacking side. Yes. Okay. I don't know that that's going to go well. Right, we now have 46% war score against the Crocodile Company. But we do rather need to take Iskandrun back. Oh, poor good Spoleto is of legal age. That's nice. She is a niece. Maybe I should marry her off to someone. I don't know. Can we get her any good matrilineal marriages? Not really, no. I don't know. No, I'm not going to marry her to the Duke of Axum. I have no idea. I'll send her off to Amalfi. I'm sure that'll be fun. Just going. Do I try to get involved in this war now? before all of the... No, it's too far away. We're going to have to do that one by brute force. And I do want to get the crocodile company out. It shouldn't take very long. Right, I can't remember why he's there. Why is Nisibim part of the Empire of Britannia? Right, we fixed the religion of Spoleto. Anywhere else that we like actually properly control that needs converting? Apparently we control a couple of counties there, which I wasn't even aware of. Right, we've almost finished pushing over Iskandrun. Have a new Emir of Anjou. Of course, we can't win this war, the war against the Crocodile Company, by occupation. We can at best make sure that they don't occupy anything and beat them in repeated battles. Happily, they're coming back for more. They probably won't actually be foolish enough as to march straight into this mountainous province where I've got 18,000 troops. No. Well, we'll finish off the siege of Rosas and then we'll go and give them a quick thrashing. Which should get us up to an adequate amount of war score, I think. Thank you. Because like the last one was worth 60%. Maybe this siege isn't even worth the hassle, but it's not long now. That will get us over 100% war score. So now let's raise enough fleets to transport all of that lot. Right. The invasion has now failed. War Chief Asaru of the Crocodile Company accepted Badshah Samir's peace offer. Queen Ermeltrude now has a daughter, so my granddaughter is heir to the Kingdom of Egypt. I think. Yes. Appears that Albrecht has converted to Catholicism, though, so our attempt at spreading religion by sending out people of the right religion, sending out people of our religion to marry into other families has not gone very well. We need slightly more ships. Hello, anyone want to give me some more ships? Thank you. Right, so what's going on over here then? Let's get that lot to the Western Med at least. So I think we've raised essentially all the troops we can conveniently raise in the Middle East. We can bring in a few more. From our European holdings. Which should then give us enough to push over Granada. "42-week claims can be pressed or not." Right, so let's no. All right, that's the Roman army, isn't it? Yes. Right, we are gradually nudging up. She's compensated at least for herself now, for her -20 scandalous vassal penalty. Oh, don't be like that. We've already got. Oh dear. We've already got a. An organizer in there, but we can't actually escape fast enough. Okay, just check if we can escape by going to sea. No. Oh well, then we'll probably lose a small battle there. Do I immediately flee again? Not like we're going to have any hope of winning that one. Break off. Accept some losses to get out with your skin intact. Though actually, now I've just noticed we've got that army has just turned up. So presumably the Grenadian army is heading back to Mercia, yes. Let's not attempt to move my troops in there immediately. Actually, we'll have hills advantage, so we should wait for them to get movement locked into there and then send this army in to flatten them. I hope we can flatten them. Looking good so far. We've lost a commander somehow. Kuna will do. Well, that was certainly good for my war score, our war score. Now we can... Why did I let off that peasant accused of poaching? Yes, justice. Justice is generally the right answer. Right, Palencia, wherever the hell that is, has been converted. That was that one, wasn't it? So we can send him to the neighbouring county as well. Meanwhile, we can probably reclaim Mercia pretty quickly, which will definitely help with our war score. Grenadans appear to have stopped in that county. We might nip next door and hit them again. Okay, it looks like... Well, actually, can I follow you? Yes. Might as well help a little bit. Don't think it's worth this lot breaking off that siege just to join in a battle that is not going to need their attention. That one's nearly done. That's a bit brave, but it'll probably work. Okay, yes, I probably had a good reason for setting that up. I should go to sleep soon, but let's finish off this war. Right, we've got Mercia back, and we're now at 94% war score. There appears to be another war going on. King Waldron of Swabia is engaged in a holy war for Cologne. Right. Well, we won't try to do that one today. Okay, we did actually attempt to attack the Granadan army in mountains, but we seem to have got away with it. Wasn't my decision. It was my allies' decision, that one. But that's got her up to 100% war score. So presumably she's going to end this war pretty shortly. And then I might want to pay attention to this one. Because the King of Swabia with 28,000 troops, assisted by the King of Franconia with 24,000 troops, is trying to take Cologne off us. That's not really acceptable. Let me unlink my army from that one and we'll bring it back to join the rest of mine. Okay, we'll have a battle if you want. Okay, my army got there first because I turned off its linking, and it had an organizer. Oh well. How about you end this war? I don't think there's any reason why you shouldn't end it now. Like if there were parts of Granada that were occupied by people other than us, you might bother, but there aren't. Right, good. So, Carthaginensis is doing pretty well there. So, I think I need to do something about that, but I don't think I need to do something about that now. I think now, because it's 20 past midnight, what I need to do is to discover whether I can still find my bed. Yeah, that looks quite scary up there. Right, yeah, well, we'll see that later. Not tonight, because tonight does not seem like a good time to start getting involved with two vassals of the Holy Roman Empire. Which is, to be fair, looking like quite a serious political undertaking now. Don't think my bed's occupied by Catholics, but I'm not sure. Anyway, let us save and quit for now. And we will see how it is when we come back to it. Where's the button for stopping? Oh, there it is. Good night.